instance, at our financial condition right now. It concerns me mightily because of the future for our children, our grandchildren, all the ones who are coming after us. What can they expect? You know, this is going to be the first generation in our history expected to do worse than their parents. And that's the beginning of the decline. It's going to continue on and on unless we intervene. And we can't just play around the edges. We have to do something major to stop this. You know, what Italy did, they were in the same shape as Greece a few years ago. And Italy decided to raise the retirement age, because everybody in Italy was retiring early, and to cut the benefits. Now, nobody was real happy with that. But it kept them from going off the fiscal cliff. And now people have adjusted to it. The longer you wait to make the adjustments, the more draconian those adjustments have to be. And this is the kind of thing that we have to begin to think about now. You know, we are passing on to those who come after us what is now a $19 trillion national debt. Next year this time, it'll be $20 trillion. That is a number that is too staggering to even comprehend. And yet, nobody is doing anything about it. It's continuing to go up. And this has been the case for quite some time now. Republicans and Democrats alike, they both keep it going. They're all part of this rotten system. And it's because they all have ties with special interest groups and billionaires who give out money, which is why I don't take money from those groups at all. We'll never do that under any circumstances. But when you owe this person this or this person this, you're not going to disassemble that rotten system. It's just not going to happen. And that's why there is a tendency to push those individuals who are going to be obligated in some way to the top. People like me who are total mavericks and will not participate, they're anathema. And you got to somehow get rid of them. You have to ignore them. That's why from the beginning of my campaign, they try to write my obituary every week, you know. He's gone, okay, he's gone finally. You know, I remember, you know, one Saturday Night Live, they did 4 segments on me. They never do 4 segments on one person. They thought they had me, I was gone, and then they turn around, and he's back. You know? So I just want you to know, I'm not going anywhere. And, you know, this latest set of dirty tricks just intensifies, you know, my desire to work extremely hard to break down the ugliness in the system and bring it back to we the people, with we the people at the pinnacle and the government below us to facilitate life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is the way it was supposed to be. That is the way it is going to be, God willing. Because I don't believe that God is going to forsake the prayers of the millions of people across this nation who are concerned about the direction of our nation. And then you also have to bear in mind, you know, we are in grave danger. The president said a few weeks ago that ISIS is not an existential threat to us. What planet is he living on? I mean, admittedly, they do not have massive armies and a big navy and a big air force. But see, that's the way wars used to be fought. That's not the way wars are going to be fought from now on. It's going to be with cyber attacks. It's going to be taking advantage of our electric grid, which is not hardened. It's going to be dirty bombs and things of this nature. And if we're not anticipating those things, and we're not guarding against them, it makes us extraordinarily vulnerable. So the last thing we want to hear is our president saying that people who want to destroy us are not an existential threat when they have access to all of those things that I just mentioned. We, as a nation, if we want to protect our children and our future, have to understand that the radical Islamic terrorists must be destroyed. They can't be contained. They have to be destroyed. Because if we don't destroy them, they are going to destroy us. If you go back in the Bible and you look at the life of King David, he was a warrior. He went out and he destroyed, various groups because they were evil. I was reading in the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel, or some might say 2 Samuel. About some of David's exploits. And what was really cool as I was reading it, it was talking about Syria and Damascus. And I'm thinking, wow, the same stuff is going on today, in the same region, but how he went out and destroyed. And someone asked me the other day, they said, "You're a Christian. How can you be talking about destroying people? That's not consistent with Christian principles." And I said, is it consistent with Christian principles to sit there and let yourself be slaughtered? I don't think so. And particularly to be slaughtered by people who are evil. People who have evil intentions. What I would recommend to every American is that you read about Islam. Go and study the very beginnings of it with Muhammad in Mecca and how he lived at that time. Nobody liked him, by the way. He had an uncle who protected him. When his uncle died, he ended up moving to Medina up north, and that's where he established his armies. And he became the first caliph.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marco Rubio for President, Iowa State Campaign Chairman, State Senator Jack Whitver.
What a night, huh? Well, hello, and thank you so much for being here. This is a fabulous night for our campaign, and I'm so thankful you came out to join us at our celebration tonight. Very quickly, I just want to thank a couple people. I volunteered hundreds of hours on this campaign, and because of my wife putting up with that, I just want to thank her, and I appreciate her and the kids. And I want to thank our Iowa team. We were criticized a lot for not having a big organization or a strong organization, but our team was extremely hardworking. They were fantastic, and I just want to thank them really quickly. Well, I'm very proud of the campaign that we have built here. I'm very proud of the campaign that Marco ran. I've been on this campaign for 9 months. I was the first state chair in the nation to sign up, and there's not been one day that I was not proud to support Marco Rubio. He is going to beat Hillary Clinton. So Marco has a flight to New Hampshire, so we're going to get on with this. Please welcome the next president of the United States, Marco Rubio.
Bring your tithe and bring your shame. Bring your guilt and bring your pain. Don't you know it's not your name?
Thank you.
You'll always be much more to me.
Thank you.
Every day I
Thank you.
with the voices that keep telling me I'm not alright. But that's alright.
Thank you.
'Cause I hear a voice that calls me.
So this is the moment they said would never happen. For months they told us we had no chance. For months they told us because we offered too much optimism in a time of anger, we had no chance. For months they told us because we didn't have the right endorsements or the right political connections, we had no chance. They told me that we had no chance because my hair wasn't gray enough and my boots were too high. They told me I needed to wait my turn, that I needed to wait in line. But tonight here in Iowa, the people of this great state sent a very clear message. After 7 years of Barack Obama, we are not waiting any longer to take our country back. This is not a time for waiting. For everything that makes this nation great now hangs in the balance. This is a time where we need a president that will truly preserve and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, not one that undermines, attacks, and ignores the Constitution of the United States. This is the time for a president who will defend our Second Amendment rights, not a president who undermines them. This is a time for a president that will rebuild the U.S. military, because the world is a safer and a better place when the United States has the most powerful military in the world. This is no ordinary election. 2016 is not just a choice between two political parties. 2016 is a referendum. It is a referendum on our identity as a nation and as a people. In America, there are only two ways forward for us now. We can either be greater than we've ever been, or we can be a great nation in decline. If Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton get elected, if they were to win, we will be a great nation in decline. If they win, Obamacare becomes permanent. If they win, these unconstitutional executive orders from this president become permanent. If they win, our military continues to decline. And if they win, the balance of our Supreme Court will be controlled by liberal justices for over a decade or longer. They cannot win. Hillary Clinton is disqualified from being the President of the United States. because she stored classified and sensitive information on her email server because she thinks she's above the law. And Hillary Clinton can never be commander-in-chief. Because anyone who lies to the families of people who have lost their lives in the service of this country can never be commander-in-chief of the United States. And so tonight, I thank you here in Iowa. I thank you because tonight we have taken the first step, but an important step, towards winning this election. If I am our nominee, and I will be our nominee thanks to what you have done here in this great state, when I am our nominee, we are going to unify this party, and we are going to unify the conservative movement. When I'm our nominee, we are going to grow the conservative movement. We are going to take our message to the people who are struggling paycheck to paycheck, to the students living under the burden of student loans, to the families struggling to raise their children with the right values. We will take our message to them, and we will bring them to our side. When I am a nominee, we will unite our party, we will grow our party, and we will defeat Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders or whoever they nominate. I want to thank an all-powerful and mighty God for the chance that He has given us to be a part of this endeavor here in Iowa. It's been a phenomenal experience. I want to thank my wife and my family. I want to congratulate my friend, Senator Ted Cruz. He worked really hard here in Iowa, and he earned his victory tonight. I want to thank another good friend of mine, Governor Mike Huckabee, for his service to our country, to the state of Arkansas. He has announced tonight that he is suspending his campaign. We have tremendous admiration for Governor Huckabee, and we thank him for all he's done. 2 centuries ago, an extraordinary generation living in one place at one time here in America, colonists of an English colony, declared their independence from the most powerful empire in the world. They did it with the powerful words and principle that our rights come from our Creator. They do not come from our government. And over the rest is a 2-century history of the most extraordinary nation in the history of mankind. I know America is special because I was raised by people that knew what life was like outside of America. I was raised by people who came to this country with nothing. They barely spoke English at the time. They had no money. My father stopped going to school when he was 9 years old. He had to go work. He would never go back to school. He would work for the next 70 years of his life. When my parents arrived here in this country, they struggled. They were discouraged, but they persevered. Less than a decade after they arrived here with nothing, my father, a bartender on Miami Beach, they owned a home. Not a mansion, but a safe and stable home in a safe and stable neighborhood. Decades later, they would retire with dignity and with security. And the most important thing of all for them, they left all 4 of their children with a life better than their own. This was the purpose of my parents' life, to give their kids, us, the chance to do all the things they never could. That's not just my story. That's our story. That's America's story. That's the story of your parents. You know the stories of your parents who sacrificed and gave up so much so you could be what they could not. It's the stories of those parents today who are doing the same for their children. It is this that makes America special. And it is this what we fight now to preserve. This is the kind of country that I want to leave for my children. This is the kind of country your children deserve to inherit as well. And this is what we must now decide, whether we will remain that kind of country or whether we will be the first generation to lose it. It's an important choice, and one that each generation before us has had to make. For America is not a special country by accident. America is a great nation because each generation before us did their part. Each generation before us sacrificed. They confronted their challenges. They embraced their opportunities. And for over 2 centuries, each generation has left the next better off than themselves. Now the time has come for us to do the same. Now the moment has arrived for this generation of Americans to rise up to the calling of our heritage. Now the time has come for us to take our place and do what we must. And when I'm elected president of these great United States, we will do our part. When I am elected president, when we together achieve this victory, we will embrace all of the principles that made America great, and we will apply them to the unique challenges of this new century. And when our work is done, here is what history will say of this generation. It will say that we lived in the early years of this new century in an uncertain and difficult time, but we remembered who we were. We rose up to the challenge of our time. We confronted our problems and we solved them. And because we did, the American dream didn't just survive, it reached more people and changed more lives than ever before. Because we did, our children and our grandchildren grew up to be the freest and the most prosperous Americans that ever lived. Because we did what needed to be done. The 21st century wasn't just as good as the 20th century. It was better. It was a new American century. This is the task before us. And I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I thank God for allowing me the opportunity to come this far with each of you. I am grateful to you, Iowa. You believed in me when others didn't think this night would be possible. When perhaps we were lost in the daily narrative. When some suggested that perhaps it was time to step aside, you believed in me. You walked with us. You made the calls and knocked on doors. You made a huge difference tonight. We are going to be back. I will be back here in October next year and September of this year. Because I said next year. I'll be back next year too, but I'm going to be back in October and September of this year, because when I'm our nominee, we are going to win Iowa and we are going to win this election for this country. And so, Iowa, thank you so much. We will never forget you. We will see you soon again. And New Hampshire, we will see you in the morning. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you people. I love you people. Thank you. Unbelievable. I have to start by saying I absolutely love the people of Iowa. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, on June 16th, when we started this journey, there were 17 candidates. I was told by everybody, do not go to Iowa. You could never finish even in the top 10. And I said, but I have friends in Iowa. I know a lot of people in Iowa. I think they'll really like me. Let's give it a shot. They said, don't do it. I said, I have to do it. And we finished second, and I want to tell you something. I'm just honored. I'm really honored. And I want to congratulate Ted, and I want to congratulate all of the incredible candidates, including Mike Huckabee, who's become a really good friend of mine. So congratulations to everybody. Congratulations. I want to thank all of the folks that worked with us. We had a great team, and we will continue to have a great team. And we're just so happy with the way everything worked out. And most importantly, I have to thank my wife and Laura and Eric and Vanessa and Don. They went out and they were doing speeches. And in fact, Don and Eric, I think you did about 6 speeches today. So I just want to thank my family. They have been so amazing and so supportive. And we've had every indication. We're going now on. We have a poll. We're at 28 points ahead, okay? New Hampshire, we love New Hampshire. We love South Carolina. And we're leaving tonight, and tomorrow afternoon we'll be in New Hampshire, and that'll be something special. It's going to be a great week, and we're going to be up here next week. And I think we're going to be proclaiming victory, I hope. I will say this. I don't know who's going to win between Bernie and Hillary. I don't know what's going to happen with Hillary. She's got other problems, maybe bigger than the problems she's got in terms of nominations. But we've had so many different indications and polls that we beat her, and we beat her easily. And we will go on to get the Republican nomination, and we will go on to easily beat Hillary or Bernie or whoever the hell they throw up there. Iowa, we love you. We thank you. You're special. We will be back many, many times. In fact, I think I might come here and buy a farm. I love it, okay? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. On to New Hampshire. So long, everybody.
Ted Cruz's night.
It is Ted Cruz's night. He out-organized everybody. He delivered the evangelical voters that he needed to.
College campuses to family farms, I have had the privilege of getting to know Iowans whose passion for our democracy is well known and renowned. And I want to share with you just one brief story. I was in Burlington, Iowa, and I've collected so many stories across your state, from really decent, caring, compassionate men and women who love our country. But I will never forget one of these. In fact, I told a reporter earlier today, it was the story I'll always carry with me. In Burlington, I met a woman whose son has served 2 tours of duty in Iraq. And she knew that there was an upcoming Democratic debate. And she came up to me and she said, Governor, when all of you candidates are on stage together, I want you to please tell the other candidates not to refer to my son as a pair of boots on the ground. She said, "My son is an American soldier, and he is my son." And I was so proud to be able to honor that request of hers. And in essence, that's what these Iowa caucuses are all about. It's about each person's voice being heard, each person's story being heard. And Katie and the kids and I decided that it would be an extreme poverty indeed if the Democratic Party only had 2 candidates to choose from. And so we made this fight. And I cannot thank you enough for giving me an opportunity to be a part of writing this story of our country's future. I want to thank everyone that came out to our events and lent me their ear, everyone who went out to caucus for me tonight. Everyone who went out to caucus. And I want to give you my deepest gratitude. And I was getting tweets from people in caucus locations. God bless Denison, by the way, and si se puede, and si se puede. And we were getting calls from other people. We were getting tweets saying, "We're here. They're yelling at us, but tell the governor we're holding strong." You know, my parents taught the 6 of us that the politics is actually a noble service to others, and that the only thing wrong with it is that not enough good people bother to try. Each of us has the power and the responsibility to hold strong and point our country to a better future. Our economy isn't money, it's people. It's all of our people. And no one who works hard for a living should ever have to raise their children in poverty. It was their cause that we made our cause and was part of this tough fight. And we have to hold strong for that fight. We have to continue to fight to make the minimum wage a living wage so that every family can work hard and get ahead. To pay overtime pay for overtime work and equal pay for men and women to move our country forward. And we also have to hold strong to the values and the principles that unite us. We have to be unafraid to face our challenges, Mayor, right? We have to be able to look at climate change and see that it's the greatest business opportunity to come to the United States of America in 100 years. And I was honored to be the first candidate to put forward a plan to move us to 100% clean electric energy grid by 2050 and create 5 million jobs along the way. We are a great nation, and we are a good, and we are a compassionate and a generous people. And we have to hold strong to the values that make us Americans. And that, too, is what this tough fight was about. Our diversity is our strength. And we need comprehensive immigration reform to lift 11 million of our neighbors out of the shadow economy and into the full light of an American economy. I've met with so many people across our country. I met with a family, the Ramirez family in Texas, and 2 parents, undocumented, 2 of their older daughters covered by President Obama's executive action, and their 13-year-old girl, Abigail, born in the USA, American citizen, and this little girl goes to school every single day, wondering and fearing all day that when she goes home, the doors of her home will be kicked open and her parents will be deported. We are a better people than that. And we need to continue to hold strong to the truth that the enduring symbol of the United States of America is not the barbed wire fence, it is the Statue of Liberty. And 2 of the most incredible people, the most inspiring people I met in the course of this campaign were Sandy and Lonnie Phillips. They lost their daughter Jessie in that theater shooting in Aurora, Texas, and they used this campaign to transform their grief. And you know what, everyone? We also help transform the grief of all of those who have lost loved ones to guns and gun violence. It was because of our campaign that we drove this issue, and it's because of this campaign that we will restore common sense gun safety legislation in the United States of America. And so, look, this cause continues. This tough fight continues. And I have never been more proud of the people that have been associated with this campaign. I've never worked with a better group of young American patriotic men and women than the ones I worked with on this campaign. And I also want to say this, that look, no man ever had a stronger or more courageous family in a tough fight than I've had in Katie O'Malley. Katie, thank you for standing by me every step of the way, and thank you for being the love of my life, my sword and my shield. And without you, we would never have been able to help as many people as we have. And Grace, thank you, Tara, and Jack, and William, the closer. I think one of the proudest moments of this campaign was when I tuned into MSNBC and I saw William very, very clearly, without any anger, without any fear, call out the racist and fascist rhetoric of Donald Trump. And say very firmly that he's looking forward to the fall because his father's going to hit Donald Trump like a freight train. And I just might. So look, gang, in conclusion, there is no conclusion. This fight continues. But look, we fought very, very hard in order to give the people a choice. And the people have made their choice tonight. And it was hard to get over that threshold here. And I know that those numbers don't reflect all of the hard work that you did. But we have driven this debate. And so tonight, I have to tell you that I am suspending this presidential bid. But I am not ending this fight. Because the fight that you and I are engaged in is a tough fight. And I believe that the toughness of the fight is the way the hidden God has of telling us we're actually fighting for something worth saving. Our country's worth saving. The American dream is worth saving. And this planet is worth saving. So as we march forward to the fall, let us all resolve together that the love, the generosity, the compassion, and the commitment of this campaign will continue to point our country forward. That we must hold strong for that third grade kid who's only going to be in third grade once. We must hold strong for that senior citizen who has worked her whole life and now finds herself having to choose between her food and her medicine. Let us hold strong for that mom and dad who are working 3 jobs between them in order to make ends meet and sweating over, cutting up the bills over the kitchen table after the kids are in bed. Look, we are a great country. And we are a good people because of our generosity, because of our compassion, because of the belief we share in the dignity of every person, our own responsibility to advance the common good, and our understanding that, yes, in fact, we are all in this together, all of us, new Americans, American Muslims, gay and lesbian, transgender Americans, all Americans. We are one, our cause is one, and we must help each other if we are to succeed. God bless you guys, and God bless the United States of America. And thank you for allowing me to make this offering out of love. Thank you.
Show everyone that he is a viable candidate, that he's electable, and I think he's going to use these results to keep making that argument, which you saw him making more and more in his closing days.
But this is why what they say tonight matters a lot. It was an old speech. The speech that Barack Obama gave, he's won Iowa. 100 years from now, that will be in whatever they'll have. It's like great American speeches. Okay? It was telling to me that Marco Rubio, a great orator, gave a The beautiful oration for a guy who plays third. It's close third still. It's a participation trophy, Marco. You should have heard my first place speech. Trump, I never thought I would end this Trump show, right? And so you get it. It was a terrific speech for Donald Trump. Hillary and Bernie, we haven't heard from Senator Cruz, the winner. Hillary and Bernie tonight, they shouldn't only say, Bernie will give free advice. He should only say, oh, look, I'm viable, I can win. That's sort of the establishment's part. He should continue to rev up the way he's suggesting, especially with terrific fundraising. Well, she is at her most appealing when she can fight back as an underdog. I think even actually drive back. So she'll shot him, she'll cry, she'll fight, she'll work hard, and I think she's actually in a weird way more appealing when she gets knocked on the canvas.
That was certainly the case in 2008 when we thought we had won and had her down and out in New Hampshire, and she came back and she won. Here's a problem that I think she needs to solve, though. When you build your candidacy around experience, it's necessarily about you. Bernie Sanders goes out there and speaks for an hour in a speech, and he doesn't talk about himself at all. He makes it about them. When Barack Obama ran, he said, yes, we can. It wasn't yes, I can. It was yes, we can. It was about all of us. And so it's challenging to inspire people around the message that is largely about experience.
See what she says tonight. That's why this really matters.
I think the lesson that is drawn from this showing by both Senator Cruz and Senator Sanders is that the base matters, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. When these candidates are forced to work outside traditional party networks in terms of fundraising, outreach, and emails, they become tougher. They become
they handed me my glass, smiling, thinking to myself, man, what a picture perfect postcard this would make of America. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a ride in a Chevrolet. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. Later on when I got home, I flipped the TV on. I saw a little town that some big twister tore apart, and people came from miles around just to help their neighbors out. And I was thinking to myself, I'm so glad that I live in America. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a ride in a Chevrolet. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. Now we don't always get it all right. There's no place else I'd rather build my life. 'Cause it's a kid with a chance, it's a rock and roll band, it's a farmer cutting hay. It's a big flag flying in the summer wind over a fallen hero's grave. It's a high school prom, it's a Springsteen song, it's a welcome home parade. It's a man on the moon and fireflies in June and kids selling lemonade. It's cities and farms, it's open arms, one nation under God. It's America. It's America. Oh, yeah. Woo.
Unmute all mics. Unmute the mics.
President, we did it! Right here! We took Urban down too! Yes, sir. Thank you,
Senator.
We did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Ted Cruz.
God bless the great state of Iowa. Let me first of all say, to God be the glory. Tonight is a victory for the grassroots. Tonight is a victory for courageous conservatives across Iowa and all across this great nation. Tonight, the state of Iowa has spoken. Iowa has sent notice that the Republican nominee and the next President of the United States will not be chosen by the media. Will not be chosen by the Washington establishment. Will not be chosen by the lobbyists, but will be chosen by the most incredible, powerful force where all sovereignty resides in our nation, by we the people, the American people. Tonight, thanks to the incredible hard work of everyone gathered here, of courageous conservatives across this state, we together earned the votes of 48,608 Iowans. To put in perspective your incredible victory that you have won tonight, that is the most votes ever cast for any Republican primary winner. Tonight is a victory for millions of Americans who have shouldered the burden of 7 years of Washington deals run amok. Tonight is a victory for every American who's watched in dismay as career politicians in Washington, in both parties, refuse to listen and too often fail to keep their commitments to the people. Tonight is a victory for every American who understands that after we survive 8 long years of the Obama presidency, that no one personality can right the wrongs done by Washington. The millions who understand that it is a commitment to the Constitution, to our shared insistence that we rise and return to a higher standard, the very standard that gave birth to the greatest nation that the world has ever known. To the revolutionary understanding that all men and all women are created equal. That our rights do not come from the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or even from the Tea Party. Our rights come from our Creator. And the federal government's role, the federal government's responsibility is to defend those fundamental rights, to defend us. And while Americans will continue to suffer under a president who has set an agenda that is causing millions to hurt across this country, I want to remind you of the promise of Scripture. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Tonight, Iowa has proclaimed to the world, morning is coming. Morning is coming. From day one, this campaign has been a movement. From millions of Americans across this country to organize, to rally, to come together. Whatever Washington says, they cannot keep the people down. And tonight is a testament to the people's commitments, to their yearnings to get back to our core commitments, free market principles, constitutional liberties, and the Judeo-Christian values that built this great nation. When the Washington lobbyists settled on other candidates in this race, when the media in one voice said a conservative cannot win, nationwide, over 800,000 contributions poured in to tedcruz.org as courageous conservatives said, yes, we can. $800,000 contributions at tedcruz.org with an average contribution of $67. That is the power of the grassroots. But it's more than that. It's 12,000 volunteers here in the state of Iowa. It's over 200,000 volunteers all across this great nation. You know, during the course of this campaign, people have asked Heidi and me, are you tired? And I will admit, it is 16, 18 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. We are not tired at all. To the contrary, we are inspired by each and every one of you. I leap out of bed every morning amazed that at a time when our country is in crisis, every one of us has the opportunity to stand and lead, that we have been put in a place of leadership for such a time as this. I'm inspired by the stories of heroism that I see every day. Working men like Jerry Dunleavy from Columbus, Ohio, who requested an entire month off his job to come to Iowa to live at Camp Cruz and to volunteer full-time. When his employer refused to give him the time off, Jerry quit his job and came anyway. And I love the great state of Iowa. I'm inspired by people like Elliot Gazer and Josh Hammer, students at the University of Chicago, who spent their winter break at Camp Cruz. But they didn't stop there. They came back this weekend. They hit the phones and they hit the pavement campaigning so that students across this country, upon graduation, rather than having mountains of debt, will instead have 2, 3, 4, 5 high-paying job offers and a chance at the American dream. I'm inspired by people like Alexandra Ziegler, a 13-year-old girl from Lubbock, Texas, who yesterday at our campaign headquarters made 823 volunteer calls. That has always been the strength of this campaign. Are the men and women gathered here and courageous conservatives standing up and speaking out and lifting us up in prayer, lifting this country up in prayer each and every day. And let me say, our leadership team, our Iowa State Chairman, Matt Schultz, what an extraordinary job. You have done organizing a grassroots army, and let me say to our Iowa State Director, Brian English, what an amazing job Brian has done. And to our national co-chairmen, Bob Vanderplatz and Steve King. These men have become dear and trusted friends. They are warriors. They are men of principle. They stand and speak the truth. They stand to defend their values. And let me tell you, these leaders, day after day, week after week, have been crawling under broken glass with knives between their teeth. I'm grateful for the support, the early support of my friend, Steve Dace. We're grateful for the over 150 pastors across the state of Iowa who joined our team to energize people of faith. We are grateful to the state senators, to the state representatives, to the volunteer leaders in each of the 99 counties who stood up and said, we will be heard and this will be decided by the grassroots. And then I am so grateful to national leaders, people like Dr. James Dobson and Tony Perkins and Phil Robertson and Governor Rick Perry and Glenn Beck leaders who have stood and led, bringing together and coalescing conservatives here in Iowa and all across the country. You want to know what scares the Washington cartel? Actually, not remotely. I don't scare them the tiniest bit. What scares them is you. What scares them is that the old Reagan coalition is coming back together of conservatives. We're seeing conservatives and evangelicals and libertarians and Reagan Democrats all coming together as one, and that terrifies Washington, D.C. And so to the people of Iowa, Heidi and I say thank you for your incredible hospitality. Thank you for your love. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes, into your living rooms. Thank you for welcoming my father to preach from the pulpits of your churches. And let me say to my parents, Mom, thank you for the incredible, unconditional love that you have given me every day of my life, the knowledge that whatever I might do, whatever I might say, that my mother loves me. To my cousin Beebe, who is like a sister to me, we grew up together. I love you, Beebs. And to my dad, a man who came from Cuba at age 8.
Your briefcase?
If the front of the briefcase is facing you, okay?
Campaign the same way, sitting down person to person, leader to leader, VFW Hall to Dunkin' Donuts, returning to the great state of New Hampshire.
James, you're on me.
Sorry, watch out. Just the cord. I didn't want you to try.
She's back down below 50.
Blake, watch out. Blake. would say 2 minutes.
Bernie Sanders, I approve of this message.
That would have been a good intro. Oh, they're getting rid of the No. I would say it's probably soon, but not. Probably 2 minutes. I'm guessing.
The overall size of the crowd seems to be growing marginally. You know, like there are more people here than there were an hour ago.
Yeah, definitely. So I bet they're in, like, all outside. I feel like they're bringing all the people from outside in.
Well, probably people are just getting here from having caucus, you know?
Yeah, they have to drive from their precinct.
done good. You're in a happy place, you know, which is so much fun and excitement and energy. Believe me, I've been in the fucking, like, oh, you know, this night's gonna suck. Now it really sucks. Okay, this night did suck. It's over. Let's go home, you know.
Yeah. The music, they're lower. The music is being turned down, so I think any minute.
Thank you. Iowa, thank you. Nine months ago, we came to this beautiful state. We had no political organization. We had no money. We had no name recognition. And we were taking on the most powerful political organization in the United States of America. And tonight, while the results are still not known, it looks like we are in a virtual tie. And while and while the results are still not complete, it looks like we'll have about half of the Iowa delegates. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Secretary Clinton. Yep. And her organization for waging a very vigorous campaign. And I want to thank Governor O'Malley. It's never easy to lose. I've lost more than one campaign.
They might be coming to me after his speech.
To the dialogue that he ran an issue-oriented campaign, and he won the...
Look my girls in the eyes 10, 20 years from now.
As I think about what happened tonight, I think the people of Iowa have sent a very profound
Yeah.
political establishment, to the economic establishment, and by the way, to the media
Yes.
And that is, given the enormous crises facing our country, it is just too late for establishment politics.
Yes.
What the American people have said.
Yes.
And by the way, I hear this not just from progressives, I hear it from conservatives, I hear it. And that is, we can no longer continue to have a corrupt campaign finance system. I am the former chairman of the Senate Veterans Committee, and in that capacity, not only have I worked hard to try to protect the interests of our veterans, I've had the privilege of meeting so many men and women who put their lives on the line to defend us and protect our way of life. And what they were protecting is an American democracy of one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections. I am overwhelmed and I am moved by the fact that millions of people throughout this country have helped volunteer in our campaign, that we have received in this campaign 3.5 million individual contributions. People who went to BernieSanders.com, and you know what the average contribution was? It was $27. We do not represent the interests of the billionaire class, Wall Street, or corporate America. We don't want their money. We will, and I am very proud to tell you that we are the only candidate on the Democratic side without a super PAC. And the reason that we have done so well here in Iowa, the reason I believe we're going to do so well in New Hampshire and in the other states that follow, the reason is the American people are saying no to a rigged economy. They no longer want to see an economy in which the average American works longer hours for low wages, while almost all new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. What the American people understand is this country was based and is based on fairness, It is not fair when the top 1/10 of 1% today owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. It is not fair when the 20 wealthiest people in this country own more wealth than the bottom half of America. So are you guys ready for a radical idea? Well, so is America, and that radical idea is we are going to create an economy that works for working families, not just the billionaire class. And yes, when millions of our people are working for starvation wages, we are going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And yes, we are going to have pay equity for women. Now, I've been all over this beautiful state of Iowa. We have spoken to some 70,000 people, and in meeting after meeting, I hear people standing up and they say, Bernie, I went to college, I graduated college. Now I am $60,000, $80,000, $90,000 in debt. That is crazy. That is crazy. People should not be punished financially because they want to get a decent education. And that is why I believe that in the year 2016, public colleges and universities should be tuition-free. And then my critics say, well, Bernie, that's a great idea. It's all this free stuff. How are you going to pay for it? I will tell you how we're going to pay for it. We are going to impose a tax on Wall Street speculation. The greed, the recklessness, and the illegal behavior of Wall Street drove this economy to its knees. The American people bailed out Wall Street. Now it's Wall Street's time to help the middle class. When we talk about transforming America, we will end the disgrace of having more people in jail than any other country, disproportionately African American and Latino. What we are going to do is provide jobs and education for our kids, not more jails and incarceration. And I'll tell you something that really does astound me. I'm on the Senate Energy Committee, I'm on the Senate Environmental Committee. I have talked to scientists all over the world. The debate is over. Climate change is real. And we have a moral responsibility to work with countries throughout the world to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And what amazes me, what totally amazes me, is that we have not one Republican candidate for president prepared to come up and tell us and agree with what virtually all scientists agree with. And you know why they are not prepared to do that? Because on the day that they do acknowledge the reality of climate change and call for change, you know what happens? They're going to lose their campaign funds for the Koch brothers and the fossil fuel industry. So I say to the Republicans, stop worrying about your campaign funds from big oil or the Koch brothers or the coal industry. Worry about the planet you're going to be leaving your children and your grandchildren. Now, I have been criticized during this campaign for many, many things. Every single day, that's okay. That's okay. But let me repeat what I believe. I believe that at a time when every major country on earth So for all of my critics out there in the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post and in corporate America, wherever you may be, let me tell you straight up, yes, I believe that health care is a right, not a privilege. That is why I believe in a Medicare for all single-payer program which will not only guarantee health care to all, it'll not only end the pharmaceutical ripoff of the American people, but it will save the middle-class family, the average middle-class family, thousands of dollars a year in health care costs. Let me conclude by saying what no other candidate for president will tell you. And that is that no president, not Bernie Sanders, not anybody else, will be able to bring about the changes that working families and the middle class of this country, that our children, that the seniors deserve. No one president can do it because the powers that be, Wall Street with their endless supply of money, corporate America, the large campaign donors are so powerful that no president can do what has to be done alone. And that is why what Iowa has begun tonight is a political revolution. A political revolution that says when millions of people come together, including those who have given up on the political process, they're so dismayed and so frustrated with what goes on in Washington, with young people who before had never been involved in the political process. When young people and working people and seniors begin to stand up and say loudly and clearly, enough is enough, that our government, the government of our great country, belongs to all of us and not just a handful of billionaires. When that happens, we will transform this country. Thank you all very much.